herding techniques. How is it that the handlers get the herding techniques to work? Well, let's take a look at what's actually going on. Before John Kennedy was murdered, all the dollar bills used to say redeemable and lawful money. Right on the bills. Redeemable and lawful money. Now, there's a couple of questions you got to ask there. What was it redeemable for, precisely? Why was it redeemable? And exactly what do they mean by lawful, or what did they mean by lawful money? Okay, well, let's roll the camera forward here a few years. You know, they've taken all the government combined sewers. There's about 780, 800 U.S. cities, major U.S. cities, that have combined sewers. Now, I know this is going to be difficult for you to figure it out, but combined sewers are where all the water from the parking lots when it rains, and all the water from the streets when it rains, and all the water from the landscape and the rooftops when it rains, goes into the same sewer as all the sewage. You know, human excrement, pee and caca. It all mixes together into massive volumes, literally billions upon billions upon billions upon billions upon billions, trillions of gallons of untreated sewage. You take a gallon of sewage and mix it with a gallon of fresh water, and you got what? Yeah, you got 2 gallons of sewage. You take 1 billion gallons of sewage and 1 trillion gallons of rainwater, and you mix it together, and you got an awfully big mess. And these days, it's all infectious. It's got all kinds of communicable diseases in the combined sewage of the government's combined sewers. And it's not just the government. You've got corporations, which most cities are, if you've stopped and looked at it, and towns and villages and even state and federal governments. They're all incorporated. They're corporations. So you've got the corporate sewer systems, the combined corporate sewer systems, poisoning all of humanity. And then, of course, we have this $600, reserve note. We've got this 600 reserve note stimulus joke that the U.S. Congress just approved for the American people. You know, I come through a couple of cities here this last week, and I noticed people on just about every corner begging. It was sickening, you know. I couldn't give money to them all. But yeah, you know, I'm wondering what they do. Did they run out of paper and ink up there to Washington, D.C.? Did all this Federal Reserve banks run out of paper and ink and the keystrokes they use to put numbers in their big computer systems? Because everybody knows that the money today it's not redeemable. It's not redeemable for lawful money. Everybody knows that today all this paper and ink and keystroking nonsense is all unlawful money. And if you look at the period of time around the murder of John Kennedy, when they decided that Kennedy had to go, in Dallas, when they splattered his brains all over the place, the dog coughing there a little bit. Why is it that this massive government-caused pandemic Um, oh, Wuhan, China, massive sewage problem. Take one big guess. Take a guess where the bats got the virus. Where'd the bats get it? And the possums and the rats and the snakes and the raccoons and the ducks and the geese and the fish. Where'd they all get the coronavirus from? Well, they got it from the sewers of Wuhan, China, and London, England, and the Anacostia River in Washington, D.C., along with the Potomac and the Chesapeake Bay, and the St. Lawrence River and the Hudson River and the Mississippi River and the Connecticut River and the Ohio River and the Tennessee River and the Red River and San Francisco Bay and Rio Grande, the St. Lawrence River. The Canadians dump so much. The Canadians, oh God, they dump sewage in the St. Lawrence Seaway. Lake Erie, Lake Champlain, the poisoning of Lake Champlain. Take some time and research it. And ask yourself, is sewage full of coronavirus? And the answer is, oh yes, it is. On a massive scale, massive grand scale. And does the government want to talk about it? The answer is they want to talk about it as much as they want to talk about how they murdered all the people in the Marshall Islands during the atomic weapons testings on the Bikini Atolls. How they did atmospheric testing in the deserts of the United States and caused huge numbers of people to die. Why didn't the government of the United States warn everybody when they knew damn well their nuclear weapons testing was killing people with radiation? Why was the government silent? And why are they silent today with their forcing the herds of sheeple, the zombie brainwashed indoctrinated American people? Why are they remaining silent about telling the American people about how their massive sewage overflows are pushing this great reset down everybody's throat? Yeah, they don't want to give you 2,000 unredeemable bills, shin plaster, what do they call? Oh yeah, they even call it legal tender. It's not lawful money, it's legal tender now. I see. See how the word salad, they change the vernaculars. They scramble up the words and they convince you that it's legal tender. Yeah, it might be tender, okay, but it's not lawful money. I'm not trying to confuse you, I'm trying to educate you. I'm trying to give you the basis upon which to form an intelligent decision on what's being done here. And this is what's being done. They're ramming the Great Reset down your throat. That's what's being done. Now, everybody can form their opinion about me all day. They can do whatever they want to. It's a free country. They can have whatever opinion they want. But when I started raising hell about the banks and the S&Ls back in the early 1980s, a lot of people thought I was nuts. Well, turns out I wasn't so nuts. And then, of course, you've got these giant foreclosures and subprime predatory mortgages and all this Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HUD, VA, real estate mortgage fraud fiasco. It's a fraud fiasco that, FinCEN. Come on, man. Who's read the FinCEN papers and how all this so-called legal tender, unlawful currency, this unlawful money gets laundered? Giant fiasco there, huh, ladies and gentlemen? But let's get back to the really important thing. When they were murdering people with radioactive fallout from their atmospheric nuclear weapons testing, especially in the Marshall Islands, they knew it was killing them. They knew that those people were going to die a horrible death and have all kinds of exotic and, very deadly cancers. But did the United States military say anything? And the answer is hell no. They use those people as guinea pigs. And guess what, America? You're being used not only as guinea pigs, but you're being led to your own demise because the government's not telling you about the sewage. The government is not telling you that SARS-2 is traceable to human excrement and combined sewage overflows. Look at the history of the Flint River in Flint, Michigan, and how SARS was spread there. And then, go around the world and look at the Thames River in London and look at the Yellow River in China. And just from Milan, Italy to Barcelona, Spain, the Laredo, Texas on the Rio Grande River. South Texas is just a mess with COVID-19 because the Rio Grande's full of sewage. So start asking your governors, start asking your mayors, and ask them, why are you dumping sewage in the Hudson River at Glens Falls? And oh God, they don't want to talk about it. No, not Glens Falls, man, because Glens Falls is a politically run, mafia-operated little shithole where they dump their sewage in the Hudson River. Like Ticonderoga, New York, where they dump their sewage in the La Chute River, the poop chute, and it dumps out right in front of Fort Ticonderoga. So I guess I don't know. I got things to do. I've made a lot of these videos. I've written ad nauseum trying to, point people to the facts, but an awful lot of Americans are more interested in just buying up all the toilet paper and, acting like a bunch of brainwashed, indoctrinated fools. And I guess, there's a bumper sticker. I keep seeing this bumper sticker. It says, you can't fix stupid. You can't fix stupid. And, my final word on this matter is, wake the shit up. Have a marvelous day, everybody.